Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to listen to Charles Leclerc. Let's listen to him.
Memory of that victory last year is still fresh in our minds. Do you see any scenario in which Ferrari could be fighting for a win this weekend?
Um, Realistically, I don't think so, but I remember very well the way I felt last year, and I remember thinking exactly the same way as now, where I didn't think that it was a possibility for us to fight for a win, but end result was that we were on the top step of the podium on Sunday. So I know that even if it's very unlikely, it's still possible, and so we'll try absolutely everything in order to reproduce what we've done last year. But realistically, on paper, we are definitely not the favorites coming into the weekend for sure.
This season so far is going way better for you than your teammate. How how much interest do you have in what happens in the other side of the garage, and how important is it to collaborate with a teammate who is the first opponent, after all, in order to push Ferrari forward?
I mean, we are a team, so obviously, whether Lewis is when Lewis has good weekends, obviously I look at it. Whenever things are a little bit more difficult than expected, then of course it affects us. So it's not like I'm doing my own thing and I don't think about anything else than my own thing. You kind of look as well, but I've got to focus on myself, my own performance, and that's what I try to do. And that's what I'll try and continue to do. I mean, starting from this weekend, it's a very important weekend. It's also the first weekend for Lewis in red or in blue this time, but in Monza with Ferrari, and this is always a special weekend. And I hope that we have both a great weekend, because as a team it will mean a lot, and probably more than any other weekends.
How different is your approach while you were preparing for Monza, given that it's a very different car, let's say, compared to that you had last year? What are your expectations from technical point of view?
I felt like McLaren is a step. I mean, last year they were a step better compared to us, but I think this year is 2 or 3 steps better. So it's only making our job more difficult to target the win. But as I said, my vision and my mentality is still to go there trying to win. It's going to be very tough, and I think technically we are on the back foot compared to them. But never say never, and I'll give my best to try and make the impossible possible.
There's a big battle for being second in the Constructors' Championship. Can you put some words on the importance of that for a team like Ferrari and for yourself as a driver there?
It's going to be very important. I mean, as much as second, third, fourth doesn't really interest me, but for the team, for the constructors, it's still a very important place. And my job is to maximize every weekend and every time I'm inside the car, and that's what I'll try to do this weekend. And also, when you see fights like the one last week with George, you can sense that I'm taking more risk with the team that we are fighting for for the second place in the constructor, and that won't change. So yeah, it's still an interesting battle. I wish it was for the first place, but whatever we are fighting for, I'll give my best, and yeah, I'll give it all.
Yeah, Leclerc is not very optimistic about this race, but on the opposite side, I'm very optimistic about the Ferrari for this race, and I believe that, as I said on the press conference video, I'm waiting just a huge surprise from the Ferrari, especially from the Lewis Hamilton. But as Leclerc said, like last year's win was a little bit surprise to everyone. Of course, I know that McLarens are so strong this week, actually this season, but as I said, I have that feeling that Ferrari is going to make that win on this track at the Monza, and I believe that the Tifosi is going to get crazy. Just don't forget to like this video, to comment it, and to subscribe to the channel.